Hey, welcome to Cooking with a Colonel again. It's funny every time I say it, Benjamin. Why you make me laugh like that? So, all right. So, talking a lot and thinking a lot about this channel and what we're doing. And so again, Mom did this for years, since 2012. And one of the things she talked about before she passed was she wanted me to continue on, kind of take on the channel, and I'm kind of growing into it a little bit now. What I do is, and what's kind of inspired me now, what I want to do is cook things. I like to cook, I do. I'm not Gordon Ramsay, I'm not an expert, and I'm making mistakes, and I'm learning as I go, like not using the whisk, using the paddle mixer, things like that. I got it, and I appreciate all the inputs and everything too. I think what we do bring, obviously there's the banter. I enjoy cooking with you, Benjamin. He's crying. Are you crying?
I'm crying.
I'm crying a little bit. Oh,
tearing up a
little tear wiped away. No, I do. I enjoy cooking with the boy here and telling stories. So it's kind of, I guess, kind of the vision, kind of the thought is like you're sitting here at the counter with me, and I'm just kind of talking a little bit and stories and of course, any questions Benjamin might have or things he wants to say or add in or anything else. But that's kind of the feel that I think we're going for. So I want to cook. I was looking through a lot of the things. This is one of the cookbooks from Mom's. I remember these books for years, but a Woman's Day Encyclopedia of Cookery. This is from the 60s. This is looks like there's a whole set of them. I was looking through and seeing there was one little section on Americana, and it kind of went through each state in the Union and kind of picked out some of the distinctive recipes and things from those states. And I was kind of going through, and I'm like, well, that'd be kind of cool to pick out the states that we've been to, that we lived in. And one of the first ones, the first state, I guess probably is where my mom was born, where I was born, the state of Virginia. So shout out to the people from Virginia. We lived there in 2015. I was working in Abu Dhabi for a year, and Arlene and the kids, Benjamin and Bella, were living in Virginia, in Yorktown. That's where they lived. So we lived there for a year. Arlene's sisters were living there at the time as well. So it was nice for them while I was gone. She had a nice support group to fall back on. Virginia is near and dear to my heart, and I wanted to touch on that. What do you think of when you think of Virginia, Ben?
Swamp.
Swamp. Well, you don't eat swamp, though.
Oh.
What do you think of food-wise when you think of Virginia?
Is
Virginia. Is there a particular food, like in South Carolina, in Charleston, you think of what? Seafood?
Grits, like yeah.
Grits. So Virginia, you got nothing? You're drawing a blank?
I got nothing.
You just eat Chick-fil-A and McDonald's every night, right?
Yeah.
You didn't eat real Virginia food?
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Mommy and Bella didn't like Arby's, so.
There you go. Well, we're gonna. When I think of Virginia, I think of hams. I think of that. I think of. But a lot of times I think of peanuts. Virginia peanuts, right? Everybody knows Virginia peanuts. Okay, now you got it. There you go. Stick with me now. Stick with me. I know you just woke up. It's only 4 o'clock. It's pretty start of early day.
Yeah. I got a long day ahead of me.
A long day. Oh shoot. Okay, so what are we gonna make now? And again, a little nervous. Gonna make some sweets again. Sweets are not usually my thing, but I'm gonna try this now. I found a recipe in here for peanut brittle. So have you ever had peanut brittle before, Ben?
I've never had peanut brittle.
Brittle. So as the name implies, it's brittle. It's hard. So hopefully it turns out right. Hopefully it's not peanut chewy, gooey. Hopefully it's peanut brittle. Okay, so I've got, what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and start adding ingredients. So dark corn syrup, I got that. I got half a cup of that. I've got a 1/4 cup of, it says molasses. I've got some of this that we had left over from Mom. So sorghum syrup, kind of the same thing as molasses. It's a little more bitter taste to it, but I kind of actually like this. I eat this a lot with biscuits and butter. Yeah, it's pretty tasty. Have you tried this yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, all right. I've got 2 tablespoons of butter ready to go, and I've got a quarter cup of sugar, just regular sugar, and 1 cup of peanuts. And then we're also gonna, when we're gonna eventually get to it, we're gonna go with the baking soda. So first thing we're gonna do, you can kind of follow me around. I've got a pan. I got this handy dandy new candy thermometer, so I'm kind of excited to try that. I've got that all prepped and ready to go. We want to start this off here. Drop that butter in, just over medium heat. So the idea is we want to get all those ingredients in there and mix them up. So in goes the corn syrup. Careful not to spill that. Ooh, that looks good. This is the dark corn syrup. Got my little spatula so we can get all that out there.
Out there.
It's warming up here in the south now.
It's hot.
Yeah, it was warm today.
I start sweating before I even start my run.
I know. Okay, so that's already starting to warm up there. I'm going to put in the sorghum syrup here. Probably don't want to heat this up too much here. So, as you all have asked for, I'm going to show you every little bit, mistakes as we learn and all of that. I'm going to turn that heat down a little bit, so I want to heat this up slow. I'm hoping that this candy thermometer, the trick is not to touch the pan with it, but to get it in there so it'll measure the temperature. On the recipe it talks about heating it up to 280 degrees, or if you take a little bit out and you drop it in cold water, it makes hard threads. So I guess that's the way they used to do it back in the day. I don't have nearly that experience or what to look for there. So that goes in, and then we've got our quarter cup of sugar. It's going to go in there too. Kind of mix this around in here, mix it all together. Set that aside. So the butter's going, mix it up. Don't want it scalding. We want to get it all mixed together, and then we'll drop our peanuts in there, and then we want to bring it up to 280. And then basically once we get it up to 280 degrees, we're going to pour it into a greased pan, and then it'll well, actually we'll mix in an 1/8 of a teaspoon of soda, baking soda in it, and then we'll pour it into a pan, and it should harden. Right? How does that sound?
Will it be brittle then or no?
No, it'll cool back down, and once it cools, the candy, it'll candy, and it should
Candify.
Yeah, so that's I hope that's deep enough that the candy thermometer will read it, because I'm a little nervous about looking for that too. We'll just dip it in there so I'm not touching the pan, so hopefully that'll work. Got it in there, keeping it off the bottom of the pan, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, so we're heating it up now. So all the ingredients are mixed, and then it says once you put until you got them all blended, then we'll stir in the peanuts and we'll bring it to a boil. So I want to get it to 280. So whoop, took a head dive on her, header off the edge of the pot there.
Going for gold.
It looks like the color of peanut brittle, doesn't it?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it does. Take my word for it, because I've had it. It's tasty.
Looks like beans.
Well, it's the beans of the ground.
Don't beans come from the ground too?
No, they grow on bushes. Peanuts grow under the ground. You know that?
Yes, I did.
All right, so that we should be able to tell that. So we're gonna let that go and boil until about 280 degrees, and we'll put in the soda and then we'll put it back in. So we'll let this heat on up and then we'll check back in here in 1 second. All right, so we're up to about 265 right now. It's starting to get black now. So I've got the heat. I'm gonna turn the heat back down a little bit because it's starting to, I'm stirring it now and it's starting to burn a little bit. So I'm gonna keep stirring it. Hopefully this turns out all right. I'm starting to have my doubts. Think we heated it up too fast?
Maybe.
I got the heat on here, so I'll bring this up slow, but you can see it's getting kind of chewy in there.
A little gooey.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm having my doubts now. Hope this. You're gonna take the first bite of this, right?
I ain't. You cooked it.
Well, I mean, it's still gonna be good. It does get a little burnt. Look, I'm just turning the heat back down now, so I'm thinking maybe I had it on medium and it just wasn't heat. Well, there we go. All right, so now that's hot enough. That's good. So we get up to, get up to the temperature we're looking for. Okay. Ooh, watch out for this. Put that right there. I got an 1/8 of a teaspoon of soda I'm gonna mix in. I think that is gonna look burnt.
It smells burnt.
Yeah, it does. So that's all mixed in. I'm gonna get this out of this and try to cool it down and try to save it. But I don't know if this is gonna work out or not, but that's not that bad. And just kind of spread it on the peanut. So we put it on just a buttered dish just to spread it out a little bit. Now we'll see how that turns out, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, it's already starting to solidify and get harder. So this is I looked down at the temperature and it jumped up to like 300. So I think I just heated it up a little too fast. That's what was going on.
Maybe the candy thermometer wasn't all the way in?
No, it was in. It was in. So, yeah, it looks a little scorched, doesn't it? So
yeah.
We'll let this cool down, and as it cools, hopefully it's buttered the dish, so it'll come off of that, and we'll be able to break it and try it. But I think it's going to taste a little scorched, but it is chewy.
I think it's still hot.
It's still hot. And it is chewy, so it should brittle up. Now we'll see how it goes, but I think I cooked it a little too high. So, like I said, warts and all, here they are. So we'll come back in a second, and we'll try it when it cools down a little bit, and we'll try and see. So come right back. All right, we're back. So this has cooled down enough now, and it is definitely. I cooked it a little too fast, but as you can see, it did candy. It's a little bit chewy. There's parts of it that are hard, so it does have a little bit of a scorched taste. So I did, but a lot of this is that sorghum in there. So it does have the sorghum taste. So if I did this again, I would bring it up, cook it up a lot slower, right? So I just turned the heat up a little too high, and it came up real fast. So you got to watch it, keep stirring it, and that's what happened there. So it's crunchy and it's brittle. The peanuts in there are nice. The sorghum taste, I like that a lot, or molasses. I like that a lot too. And anyway, this makes about 9 ounces of peanut brittle. So once it cools down, you can see it just see it breaking up here.
Yep.
That's peanut brittle. So normally the color will be a little lighter brown. I don't know how much of that is the fact I cooked it too fast, and how much of it is that it was the dark corn syrup and the sorghum, but it's definitely, it's a hard, the little hotter you get it on high end. I also touched about on this candy thermometer. It's the first time I ever used it, but it talks about the hard crack stage, 300 to 310 Fahrenheit. It almost got up to 300 when I pulled it off. So That's when I'm gonna get the soft crack stage, hard crack stage. That's about where we were. So I pulled it off. It was right at 300 when I pulled it off. So that's what we got it up to. Ideally, you want to get it about 280. That's what the recipe says. So anyway, that's peanut brittle from Virginia. And any of you folks from Virginia, give me a hi, howdy, ho. Oh, that's from Texas.
That's not Virginia.
No, it's not Virginia. What would Virginia be?
I don't know.
Rebel Yell or something.
Rebel
I don't know, something. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Anything else you want to say, Benjamin?
Nope.
Benjamin, here, you
I don't want.
You
that.
tried it already.
I already tried it.
Tried
Yeah.
it. We tried it off camera, and he's not a fan of the peanut brittle.
No.
He said even if I hadn't have scorched it a little bit, he would probably still not be a fan of it. So I like things a little bit on the burnt side, to tell you the truth. I kind of like that. So I'll probably be eating all this myself.
Yes.
Gladly.
You're welcome.
So it gets on. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I didn't like it, so you could have more.
Oh, thank you. Wow, that's nice of you. Okay, so that's peanut brittle, and we'll see you next time. It's Colonel signing off. Over and out.